What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. This is part 3 and the final part of our Breakout Players series. We're looking at every single team and we're trying to decide who's the breakout player on each of these teams that's really just going to shock all of us this season. If you haven't watched the first 2 parts, I encourage you guys to do so. And if you just got done watching the last part, yes, I did eat the pizza, and yes, it was good. But hey, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment on my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so in the last video, we went through the Southeast and the Northwest. We just got the Pacific and the Southwest left. 10 NBA teams. Let's get into it. First up is the Golden State Warriors. This one, like, it's not that hard to predict that I'm going with Jonathan Kuminga in this one, but it almost has to happen out of necessity, if nothing else. Because here's the thing. I don't feel necessarily confident about this. Like, Jonathan Kuminga, good NBA player and everything. I don't like the style that he has to play in here in Golden State, which is weird. You would think everybody would want to play in Golden State's system, but that's not exactly true. I don't think he fits like this mobile system very well because there's not a lot of opportunities for him to be like a cutter or anything like that, and his like ball handling skills are still a little bit like iffy in terms of his like, hey, like what can I create and can I kind of be that Draymond Green type guy to set up the rest of the offense? That's just not really there yet. But with Klay Thompson gone, and look, they need scoring from someone besides Steph, so out of necessity, you almost hope it's Kuminga, right? Just because I don't know what we're getting out of Andrew Wiggins at this point. Who knows what Buddy Hield gives you? So Kuminga's got to be the second leading scorer on this team, right? Which means he's probably got to put up more than 16 points a game. I feel like out of necessity, nothing else, he's just going to be asked to take a bigger role, and it's going to go up. I don't feel like we're going to reach that like Kuminga level like all-star status thing, though, that I think a lot of Warriors fans are really banking on with this guy. I don't know. I don't completely see it, but I do think he's in for a better season, and I hope that he can keep on growing. He's only 21 years old. There's a lot of time left to develop. Anything could happen at any single point. But yeah, Kuminga is obviously the choice here. It's not even a question. By the way, I'm recording this on 7/27, so if something has happened to Kuminga at this point, which apparently they don't want to do, they're like, nope, we're not going to trade Kuminga to get a Lowry Markkanen. And it's like, well, then you're not going to get any good players. That's just how it works. But anyway, just in case something happens, this is when I record it. If you're wondering why I'm pre-recording everything, go watch my channel update video because I know that's out already. Next up, we got the LA Clippers. I think this is an easy one. I think we're going to go with the Summer League star himself, Jordan Miller, who really we didn't see like any of him at all in last year's season. I mean, what did we get out of him games-wise last season? Yeah, 8 games. Yep, 1 for 2 from 3. But look, there's always 1 or 2 Summer League guys that just impress us, and then we're going to watch them throughout the whole season. And the Clippers are saying, like, hey, we're going to get this guy a contract and everything. He hasn't signed that at the time of recording this, but it sounds like he's going to get a legitimate NBA contract. Is he going to get to play a ton this year? Not necessarily at the start. There's a lot of guys in front of him currently at those positions, but here's my thing. If the Clippers aren't playing well or something like that, I could see like midway through the season them shutting down some players, or Kawhi just shuts himself down. Let's be honest, that's always a possibility. And then they're like, all right, time for Jordan to hit the court, and then maybe we get to see some of this stuff that we were seeing in Summer League where he's hitting like every single shot, and that's probably unrealistic in itself, but you're seeing the creativity with the ball, you're seeing the ability to be like a go-to scorer or something like that, and given he's still only a second-year player, he's 24, so he's a little bit older, but maybe we start to see something out of the guy, and maybe there's something that you can kind of start to see a future with in the league, because like, let's be honest, right now, like there just isn't an NBA career for him right now, but we're hoping that he's going to start to build upon this stardom that he had in Summer League and turn himself into an NBA player, so maybe he becomes like someone for them by the end of the year. Hard to say, but I think Jordan Miller's really the only name you can go with otherwise. Yeah, I don't see anyone else in the roster that you would like willingly put on there, unless you want to say Bones or something like that, but who knows if they actually ever give Bones any minutes. Next up, the Los Angeles Lakers, and we're not going to go with like one of the traditional like younger dudes on the team. I don't see it in like Hood Schifino or Maxwell Lewis or like Max Christie. I actually think it's going to be Austin Reeves, because here's the thing, like, we know where Austin Reeves, like, thrives in basketball, right? Like, he thrives as, like, a catch-and-shoot dude, and then he's really good at navigating, like, pick and rolls offensively. Defensively, he kind of gets attacked sometimes, but the effort's really good nonetheless. You're getting 16 points per game out of a 26-year-old guy, which, that's awesome, right? Like, I'm not saying he's going to reach, like, all-star levels or anything like that, but I think that JJ Redick's at least smart enough to where he's like, okay, I know the exact positions that we should put him in because there were too many times last year with the Lakers where he was just standing in the corner or something like that and watching all this other stuff take place. Which, look, D'Angelo Russell's really good at what he does. You're not going to take the ball out of LeBron's hands too much, but here's the thing. You should probably start to take the ball out of LeBron's hands a little bit more. Not even because he's like a bad player. It's just, look, like we can't ask him to do that much at this point. He's still an incredible, incredible player despite his age. And we need to start putting the ball in the hands of like the Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. Let LeBron be more of an off-ball player. He's still smart. He can still be a great cutter and somewhat of a floor spacer and everything. But if we want Reeves to hit that next level, we got to give him the ball a little bit more. And I think JJ Redick is aware of that. And he can be the one to convey that to LeBron James too, to be like, hey, these are the guys I got to have the ball all the time now. So that's what I hope to see. I hope that we can see some Reeves AD, nice pick and roll type things. It's nice that D'Lo can play with or without the basketball to kind of help balance that. But I think we're going to see a little bit more out of Reeves. All right, how the hell do I even do the Phoenix Suns? Like, I'm not going to say like Grayson Allen or something like that. He already kind of had a big blow up year last year. Like, we're not going to do Bradley Beal, Durant, Nurkic, any of these dudes. I don't think Nasir Little's necessarily getting on the court. Josh Okogie, like, probably not. Like, Monte Morris might have a bounce back year. Like, I think that could be really cool to see. As of recording this, they just signed Tyus Jones today, so hopefully he has like a bounce back defensive season. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Mason Plumlee's going to be solid. There's not a guy I can comfortably put here in this position as like breakout or something like that. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to force something just to force something here. Let's hope that Monte Morris has a bounce back year, and let's hope that Tyus Jones really thrives as the starting guard within this team, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think you have a really nice team actually put together with those kind of guys added to the rotation. Insert Mason Plumlee as well, and hopefully Ryan Dunn becomes a dude for them. So yeah, no, that's what I think of the Suns. Sacramento Kings are up next, and I know Kings fans are going to love me saying this. I truly think it's Keegan Murray, man. I really do. I can't get, like, that little bit of playoff basketball from this last season out of my head where I got to see him, like, handle the rock a little bit, and he looked so comfortable doing so. Like, he would get the ball, he would take his time with it, get to the right spots in the court, and then react and either go attack the hoop, make the next pass, and then go and re-space and just be such a good shooter, and the form looks so good, and he's big and strong, and they put him in more defensive situations last year because in his rookie season, defensively, not that great, right? But then in his second year, all of a sudden, like, pretty competent all said and done. So now, if we keep building on that and building on that, oh, we might have something here. I see so much potential in this guy, and I know that it's in there. It's hard because, like, you've got a lot of other guys on this team that are going to want the ball this year in Fox, Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, right? Malik Monk's got to get his touches and everything. But man, Keegan Murray, I love Keegan Murray, and I hope they keep focusing on his development, man, because there's something there. I promise you it's there, and I just really hope he gets a chance to really, like, break out or something like that. Like, I guarantee you, if he was on, like, a worse team, he'd be getting, like, 20 points a game easily, which you're like, AVC, yeah, if you put bad guys on a bad team, they're going to score more. That's not necessarily true. I don't like that argument. It's the whole thing of, like, well, then guys keying on you more, right? Like, there's two sides to that argument. You got to think those things through. But, no, I really like Keegan Murray. I think that there's more to him. Maybe he can run some hub-type stuff whenever Sabonis isn't in the game. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool. So, I don't know. Just a thought I have. Alrighty, the Dallas Mavericks. Here we go. This is kind of an interesting one because there's a couple names you might be able to put in there. Derek Lively might be an obvious name to you guys. Here's the thing. I'm not sure Derek Lively's going to be a ton more than what he currently is, but that's not a bad thing either. Like, he's really good at where he is. I'm just saying I don't expect like a breakout performance of where he was before. So I'm going with Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes started his NBA career off really interestingly, really nice 3-and-D player, kind of sustained some injuries at the end there with the Knicks, and then obviously with the Pistons, his stint was very, very, very short. But we still see a lot of interesting things out of him. A pretty solid defender, obviously a pretty good shooter. What did he end up shooting last season? I can't imagine it's anything that crazy. Ooh, yeah. And very few attempts, right? But it just is what it is. Like, he excels, though, at, like, the corner threes and, like, catch and shoot opportunities, which we all know that's what Dallas wants around Luka and Kyrie, right? Somebody that can come in, play some defense. He's going to be on a team with Klay Thompson where he's working out with him all the time. And it's like, look, aren't they pretty similar archetypes? I'm not saying Q Grimes is going to be Klay Thompson, like, but they're very similar type players at the end of the day. So I'd like to think that that's going to be really good for him. He's going to be thrust into the exact role that he should be playing. He's going to get enough playing time. So if healthy, I really like Q Grimes, man. I think he fits in perfectly, and I'm so excited to see him back on the court, because that little stint that he had with the Knicks that we saw earlier in his career really got me excited about his future. So I hope he gets the chance to show it in Dallas. Next up, the Houston Rockets. Oh boy, do they have a number of people that this could be. How many young players do we have to pick from in this one? Hard to say. Alfred Şengün is already taken a huge leap. He's already probably their best player, if we're being honest, right? So that's pretty crazy. I think I got to give it to Amen Thompson, though. So Amen Thompson, obviously we know what he's good at and we know what he's not good at. Like, those are pretty crystal clear, but we know a couple things, right? He really gets basketball. He really gets defense. Stupid good athlete. He's incredibly raw right now. I want to see him play the point guard. I know. Hold on for a second. I know that's technically his draft position and everything. He ended up playing more of a wing and everything in his rookie year. I want to see him play the point guard. He sees the floor incredibly well. He understands how to play with or without the basketball. But I think if you get him in this role where he's the on-ball guard working off some of these other guys, I think you could have a really dynamic team. And if you have a 6'7" point guard that's that athletic, that can go and guard like 1 through 4, and he can play without the ball at times too and be a cutter, and he doesn't need to like start transition opportunities himself. He can just get out and run for other people. I think that opens it up a lot more than if you try to turn this guy into a wing, and I think he's got the skill set to do both. So I'd swing for the upside at the guard position and try to go from there. And you let guys like Reed Shepherd or something play off of him. I don't necessarily trust Reed's like on ball as much as I trust like Amen Thompson personally anyway. I'm not saying that Reed can't get there, but I'd rather see Amen develop that, because his ceiling just is like, man, it's up there. I'd say that with both the Thompson twins. I'd say Asar, I'd probably keep him more off ball just from watching both of them play enough at this point. But man, I got to see Amen play more point guard, man. I just have to. Memphis Grizzlies, this is another good one that we're like, ooh, who's going to be the breakout guy for this squad, right? There's a couple names. Gigi Jackson's an immediate one, right? Like, that's one that we look at. Scottie Pippen Jr., I could totally see that as well. Think it's gonna be Jake LaRavia, though. Am I crazy for saying that? Am I crazy for saying that? He got to have a lot of extra burn last season. He got up to 34% from 3, given his team was absolute booty cheeks around him. But he's kind of got like a little bit of... Calm down, all right? Just calm down. I'm gonna say it. His game is similar to that of a Luka Doncic. Similar. If you see them in their ball handling opportunities and how they break guys down, they're very much the slow, physical, bump you until they can get that one step around you and then go from there. They can both step back and hit a 3-point shot, right? Like, similar. I'm not going to go any further than that, so relax, comment section, relax. All right, but I think that his shooting is going to be absolutely necessary this year. He's got really good size to play like the 4 for you, because what is he? He's like 240 or something, 6'8", 235. We take that, 22 years old. The floor spacing is going to be important, especially on a team that's not quite sure what they can do at center right now, because they don't necessarily want to play Jaren Jackson Jr. there. Zach Edey's a little bit unproven. Brandon Clark's coming back from injury, so you're going to want as much space around the court as possible if you're not going to have like a legitimate center option necessarily. So I think Gigi Jackson is going to be a big one for them, but I think Jake LaRavia also will be one for them. You could also throw a Vince Williams into there. I think Scottie Pippen Jr. is a nice one. There's a lot of upside to the Grizzlies and how like poorly their season went last year, because they discovered a lot of things about a lot of players, and I don't know, man. I like LaRavia. I think Gigi Jackson's got a high ceiling, though. I'm not going to say that he doesn't. I just don't think it's going to be this year. I like LaRavia, though. The New Orleans Pelicans, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know where I'm going with this one necessarily. Like, you would think it'd maybe be either like Herb Jones or Trey Murphy. Both of them have been seemingly putting in a lot of work from just the people I've talked to. They're like, dude, those guys are repping it hard together this offseason, so that's really cool. I kind of want to say Zion Williamson in a way, too, just because, like, I feel like he just hasn't had the chance to really show, like, how great he is. You could tell me Jordan Hawkins, if he was going to get minutes, then I could totally see him being that dude. I think I'm going to go with Trey Murphy, though. I just think the combination of, like, defense, athleticism, and three-point shooting is so prominent in him that it's just going to be like a little bit more obvious, like what his ceiling can be in comparison to like a Herb Jones or something like that. So who was it? It was on the Paul George podcast, I think, where they were like, bro, you could win the dunk contest and the 3-point contest, like in all honesty. And he legitimately could. Yeah, I think we saw a lot of confidence build in him in the playoffs last season, where he got some opportunities to kind of take a few more shots, take some big moments into his hands and stuff. The handle probably still has to be a little bit better, but it sounds like he's been really repping that this offseason from everything that I hear. So, man, if he comes with like a little bit more grip and little bit more shot creation in itself, only 24 years old, like already getting you 15 points a game. And what did he shoot from three, right? It was 38%. Yeah, and he got up almost 450 threes on 38%. Oh, I love the potential of Trey Murphy. I really do. I just hope this team can stay healthy. I want to see the Pelicans do well, man. They've done such a good job of putting a team together. It just needs to click. The final team, the San Antonio Spurs. I'm not going to do the nonsense of saying Wembanyama, even though I believe it's Wembanyama, right? I think he's going to just take an enormous step, and I think he's going to keep on taking enormous steps, and not just because he has enormous legs, right? But I want to probably give it to somebody else. I'm thinking that Devin Vassell's really going to start to figure it out this season. He already had a good... what was it? Was it his fourth year this last year? Is this his fourth year? What's his current contract? That'll help me answer that question. No, he's entering into like his fifth year now. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. But no, like, I really like what I see out of Vassell. You're already getting out of a 23-year-old almost 20 points a game. He can really go create his own shot. He knows how to get to his spots on the court already, which is really, really good. You hope that he can start to figure out how to play with Wemby just like a little bit more. There were certainly a lot of opportunities where they were kind of missing each other, but they're young, and it's hard to figure out how to play with Wembanyama in 1 year because there's nobody like him, you know? So you're learning a whole new style of play of how to set up a teammate, right? But I think with the leadership of like Chris Paul, and then combine that with Trey Jones, who's also very solid with the basketball, that's going to relieve a lot of pressure from him, hopefully opening up the three-point shot even more, right? Between like Wemby just getting more touches. He's a good passer. Sohan knows where to be on the court, and he hit a decent amount of threes last year. So I'm hoping there's going to be enough room to operate where he can kind of be that primary shot creator for the team, and hopefully we can see him kick it up to even like a 22-point-a-game season or something like that. So I'm really excited about Devin Vassell. But hey, those are my breakout players for this season to kind of watch on every single team. Now, somebody's going to surprise us. Some of these guys are going to completely fall off the map. That's just how it is. But hey, these videos are a great opportunity for you guys to be like, hey, this is who I think's really going to break out. Like, I have no reason to disagree with anybody. I hope all these guys succeed at the end of the day. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think is what I'm trying to say. But hey, I appreciate you guys as always. I've been pre-recording a lot of these today, so hopefully you guys enjoy them. And hey, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.